Well, yeah, things have changed since the last time I probably uploaded. It is now to 2022. Um, Sold the Ford, sold the Ram, sold all the other things that we needed to sell to be able to afford our new home on wheels. um, yeah, so let's dive into some updates. So, for the most part, we basically sold the previous vehicles to get on the road and build something like we're building now. So, the idea was to kind of trade up to the Ram 3500, which I now have is a 22 Ram 3500 Tradesman. It is basic. I mean, the basic on this Ram is pretty nice considering. I did actually order a Ram 3500 short bed, Bighorn, about 7 months ago, and it just got built. So I'm glad I didn't go down that road because we would be, I don't know, a few months behind. I bought this truck in November, so it's been sitting for a while till things kind of settled and figured out what we were going to do. And really, the biggest thing was what camper to get. So the big the biggest reason why we went with Scout is that um, there's a lot of attributes that we really liked in regards to a hard-sided camper versus a soft pop-top camper. The pop-top camper, I think, is an amazing choice for most people because it minimizes overall height. Um, but when we looked into it some more, um, man, there's just so many reasons why why we went with Scout. Okay, so hard-sided, no setup, full standing height. I'm 6 foot, and I still have probably another 6 inches of space above my head. And another big reason is big windows. I mean, we literally have when a window on both sides. They're exactly the same size. Awesome cross breeze. Full size RV door. A skylight where you can actually go through that skylight and get onto the roof. So there's just so many reasons. Another big reason was that we could modify the camper to what like the amenities that we wanted. Scouts are like very minimal. They're just so good for people that just want to get out and kind of like, yeah, I mean, have the minimal amount of stuff to be comfortable. Along with that was the cost. I mean, we talked to we talked to brand new brands or brand new camper brands. So like, we're talking like quoted at like 70 grand for one. And then we even were going to do a used one that was still 41 or $40,000 for a used camper. Um, and obviously they hold value, which is great. If you end up buying a used one, that's probably the best route to go. But this camper is quoted at $24,000. I mean, we don't have a toilet because we got one ordered. We got a wrap-on toilet to try. But 24,000 is not much more than maybe like one of those like an aluminum camper, AT Overland, like Super Pacific. I mean, you're talking like 10, let's say 10 grand. So another 10, or 10 or 15. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's a totally different outcome, you know. Um, anyways, we really like the Scout, obviously. So we have Red Arc going in. We got the wrap-on toilet that has to go in. Like along with that Red Arc stuff, we'll probably do a couple electronic like plugs in the kind of like wall area for charging laptops. A couple more USB ports. We're still trying to figure out water storage. We have a Dometic kind of fridge and stove combo that it comes with, but might be switching to a just like a single burner stove or a double. I don't know. I'm trying to switch things up to try to optimize space. So, you know, along with some of the custom things that we're doing is like shelving and, you know, random little things. We actually already got some shelves. These are just like, you know, run of the mill shelves from Amazon. They're just, they're kind of nylon fabric. And so things like that where kind of utilize all the space that is given. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it for the camper wise. The truck obviously got suspension, wheels, tires, amazing. The Carly suspension is just insane. I couldn't recommend it more. It's definitely not the cheapest route, but it's like driving a boat. I mean, I don't know how much we weigh yet, but we've had zero issues. We still have to do the custom Devers, which should improve the ride quality in the rear substantially. Um, and then we got the flatbed. So the flatbed's going on the last weekend of February, which is this month, and we are getting that done by Bowen Customs. So if you're watching this is actually the second time I've talked about the flatbed, but we're really excited because that will allow us to store a spare and, I mean, a substantial amount of storage space on the exterior, which is, you know, water or dust, you know, tight. So luckily that storage won't be compromised in that kind of way. The only other things that we are waiting on are sliders, possibly by White Knuckle Off Road, and then goose gear. So the goose gear system is going to be pretty cool. I'll probably leave that for a future video, but it hasn't been done in a Ram. I think it's only been done in a Tacoma, but yeah, we're gonna do a full seat delete, and which makes me excited that I got a tradesman, because there is no center console. There's just a bench seat. So I mean, you get the flip down console, which is plenty, and so if we do have a third person, because there's no back seats, it is legal and comfortable for them to sit in the middle, which is great. Good backup that we didn't have in the Ram 1500, which you know, it doesn't come up often, but you know, it's nice to have. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the truck. I mean, if you want to check out the Overlanders podcast that I do with Jaime, we talk a lot about the build. There's a whole episode on the build, and yeah, I mean, you'll get plenty of info on there. So if you want to check that out, do so. So let's talk about why we're doing it. Basically, we are, and when I say we, it's always weird because it's just like my wife and I, and Shadow, of course, but we are both creatives. So she does web and graphic design. and traditionally more locked down than I would be for work, but making some changes and just gonna go for it. It's a big risk, but we're both confident that we can continue work on the road. If anything, it would probably be better for my work, since I do outdoor and off-road or overland type uh, content and client work and stuff. It should be pretty cool. So basically, we are using 22 Overland Expo to be the blueprint, or like kind of like the guide for our trip. So the build will be in the Rigid Industries booth on I forget the date, May 20th or something, for the Overland Expo in Arizona and Flagstaff. So if you want to check it out, come by the Rigid Industries booth. But we'll also be in Pacific Northwest, Colorado, and Virginia for Overland Expo in the Red Arc booth. So, besides Arizona, we'll be in the same booth for all the other events. And thanks to Red Arc for showcasing us. And so, in between all that, we have like this, kind of time and like obviously amazing locations to travel to or in between and touch on. So we're just gonna hang out and visit some friends out of state, out of California, and maybe stay in places a little bit longer than we would normally have, and then hit the expos on in between, and possibly some other events. So we'll see what those may be, but yeah, it's going to be really fun to be able to visit all the expos, see all the different type of kind of builds and stuff. And then we're still doing hopefully we're still doing the Why We Roam series, so we'll be able to feature people across the country versus just kind of like in the Southwest or West Coast kind of area. And then all the other client work and stuff too will be really fun. So yeah, it's just kind of an update video, kind of like what have we been doing kind of video. We still have lots more to do with the truck, and I was going to release a full build series, but since we were so limited on time, we weren't able to do that. And a lot of the stuff is super like kind of either it's delayed or it's not a smooth kind of process, I guess. But just trying to get it done, and we hit the road in March, probably the second week in March, and then we'll be on the road full time for indefinitely, really. And yeah, so that's it. Little update video. If you guys haven't checked out Instagram, that's probably the best place to get the most recent up to date info. Like I said, check out that Overlanders podcast. We have some cool ideas for the podcast. We're still gonna do it based like still on the road, like while I'm on the road and with Jaime, and we have a plan for that. So yeah, exciting year. Stoked to have you guys all come along. We are definitely going to be doing more YouTube videos. And yeah, see you next time. Peace.